Envato Elements and Motion Array are two of the biggest players in the creative assets business, but there are a couple of big differences that you should know about, and it all depends on what type of creator you are. In this video, I'm going to compare the sites head to head so that you can determine which one is best for you. The first big difference is that Envato Elements has a lot more tools for graphic designers, while Motion Array is geared more toward video creators. Envato's library of graphic templates contains hundreds of thousands of assets, from t-shirt mockups to billboard templates, all the way to website UIs. Compatible applications include Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign, XD, Figma, Sketch, and more. So like basically anything you could possibly be using. Now, I'm not a graphic designer myself, so I can't give you like a subjective review of the quality of these templates, but as a layman, from a layman's perspective, these look pretty freaking cool. And of course, like I mentioned before, the options are so vast. There's literally hundreds of thousands of these. Now, in keeping with this aim to serve designers, Envato also has a bunch of fonts, web templates, and 3D assets. None of these things can be found on Motion Array at all. Motion Array has your simple graphics like backgrounds, icons, and some mockups, but their supported applications are limited to Photoshop, Illustrator, and InDesign. You'll never really find anything in this graphic design category on Motion Array that you won't find in Envato, and you won't find better or more in Envato. So for graphic designers, I gotta go with Envato all the way. It's a no-brainer. For video creators, the story is a little bit different though. While Motion Array's library of music and sound effects isn't as good as something like Epidemic Sound or Artlist, which really just specialize in the music, it still beats Envato Elements out by just a long shot. It blows it out of the water. The site's UIs look very similar and work pretty much in the same way, but the quality of the music and sound effects on Motion Array are way better than Envato, in my opinion. Envato kind of suffers from the like copyright-free itis. Anything on Envato sounds like it's copyright-free, and that's not a good thing. I would never want to use this in a professional production. It's also not enjoyable to find music on Envato Elements because all of the things on the site, when you're listening to them, listening to the preview, it will play a audio watermark over them, even when you have an active subscription to Envato Elements. So it just gets super annoying very quickly to hear that audio jungle watermark over and over and over. It's awful. Now, when it comes to video templates, the sites are pretty much tied. You'll even find some crossover stuff where you get maybe a LUT pack or something like that on Envato Elements, and then you see the same thing on Motion Array. So these are very, very much neck and neck. I also prefer the quality of the stock footage on Motion Array. While Envato has more clips at over 5 million, it seems that in chasing a big number of assets, the curation really kind of slipped through the cracks, and you're left having to weed through a lot of crappy footage just to find some stuff that's usable. With Motion Array, you might have less footage, but it's all pretty good. On top of that, Motion Array has a bunch of plugins that give you the ability to drag and drop special effects like light flares and film grain onto your footage right from your video editing software. So it's pretty clear to me that if you're a videographer, Motion Array is the winner here. I'm gonna make this one super quick. Businesses should just go with Envato. Envato offers more social media post templates, more stock photos, website templates, and a whole selection of presentation templates that work with Keynote, PowerPoint, and Google Slides. Motion Array doesn't have any of this whatsoever. That's really all I've got to say. Finally, let's take a look at the licensing and pricing structures of these two sites. Both services offer unlimited commercial licensing for all of their plans, meaning whichever one you choose, you can use those assets in your own personal projects like with YouTube and stuff, as well as any commercial projects that you have, any client work. The pricing between the two sites is a little bit different though. For a single user, Motion Array costs $240 a year or $30 per month, while Envato costs $198 a year or $40 a month. So both of sites, of course, they sort of entice you or encourage you with a discount if you buy a whole year in advance. But the difference between the monthly price and the yearly price is a little bit more drastic with Envato. When it comes to discounts, I actually have a link that'll give you $50 off of a year of Motion Array, but Envato has a 30% off for any sort of students. In the end, I don't think that the price difference is really big enough to sway me in one direction or the other, but since I'm a videographer, my choice between the two is hands down Motion Array. If you want to take a closer look at either site, I made an in-depth review right over here and over here of each site, and just like click on whichever one you want to learn about.